Wednesday morning, St. Bonaventure held an active shooter drill on campus. We'll bring you coverage of the drill and the preparations that led up to it. One woman is dead and 7 others are injured after a Southwest Airlines plane's engine failed Tuesday. The investigation into the engine failure continues as passengers and emergency responders recount their experiences. Hello and welcome into the penultimate newscast for the semester. I'm Ethan Kibbe.
And I'm Katie Tursek. Thanks for joining us. I don't know about you, but I'm especially happy that the sun is finally shining. Finally. And let's hope we have said goodbye to that snow for good.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's get straight to the news. For the active shooter drill, Wednesday, law enforcement and emergency services prepared for the events to take place by student role players during the drill. SBU-TV's Ben Solnick breaks down the timeline leading up to the drill.
Local law enforcement and emergency services flooded campus Wednesday morning as they were getting ready to prepare for the active shooter drill. Preparations began with Director of Safety and Security Gary Segru and 30-year law enforcement veteran Tom Kelly as they began to give out instructions and positions for 2 possible scenarios to a room of over 100 emergency responders. When positions were filled for tasks during the drill and safety vests given out to head officials, law enforcement began to take positions and controllers of the drill got into Murphy as they gave final instructions to student role players.
Be elevated voices, okay? They may physically put their hands on you. I'm not going to let it get too far, okay? If they do, just don't fight them. Just go with it.
Moments before the drill was about to start, a Mercy helicopter meant to bring trauma victims to Olean General Hospital landed on Mara Athletics Field. Following the landing of the Mercy helicopter, the school whistle went off acknowledging the start of the active shooter drill. Right behind me is where local law enforcement and emergency services met right before they headed out for the 2 scenarios during the drill to go over last minute info and anything they needed to do in order to prepare for the drill. Reporting live for SBU-TV, I'm Ben Solnick.
The timetable to plan for the day of an active shooter drill normally takes 6 months. Due to the constraints with the end of the school year, St. Bonaventure and local law enforcement were able to get organized in 3.5 months.
SBU-TV's Jocelyn Person followed the execution of the active shooter drill here on campus. Please be advised certain images may be disturbing to some viewers.
Shots fired.
We need help!
Yelling for help. Charging through the premises locked and loaded, St. Bonaventure active shooter drill had students and faculty volunteered for the first time in 5 years in a life or death situation. The role play of the drill had one male school shooter who shot 2 rounds that struck one professor on the chest and killed one security official. Moments later, law officials rushed in and killed the shooter. The university even conducted a mock press conference.
Law enforcement secured Murphy Hall and established what we call a warm zone. That is an area where we set up for triage for EMS to come in for victims or people that have been injured by the suspect or incident. That was established. Therefore, we were able to bring in EMS services, and law enforcement were able to clear Murphy Hall and render it a full warm zone.
The warm zone had law officials securing the perimeter of the building as well as the EMT crew rushing in to save the 11 injured students.
I'm here inside the Murphy building where the active shooter drill took place, and what I have in my hands are the response guidelines in case of an active shooter. It states that you would need to run, hide, or fight for your safety and security. You can find these guidelines in every building on campus. Reporting for SBU-TV, I'm Jocelyn Person.
Today marks the 18th anniversary of the Columbine High School shooting.
In response to the active shooting drills on campus, SBU-TV's Rob Barbieri and Fraser Breon spoke with students and faculty on campus.
And on the door, when I heard pop, 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 pop. And I just kind of froze.
School nurse Becky Seafelt took us through step-by-step what happened when she was in a shooting at a hospital in Pittsburgh in 2012.
I have no idea the time frame, but it just kind of like in my head was like, no, this is a shooting. So I turned around to look back, and I saw the security guard that was behind me falling because he had been shot. And I just remember seeing him with his styrofoam lunch tray just like in slow motion going like this and falling.
We also spoke with Dr. Simone, who was taken hostage during the last active shooter drill held on campus, who shared with us her experience and concern for this most recent drill.
I was not prepared for my post feelings after that, and though I did not suffer from PTSD in the true sense of the word, I was emotionally overwhelmed, surprisingly rattled, and affected by the circumstance.
Right here in this hall is where some of the students experienced their first active shooting drill. We reached out to some of those students to get their perspective on what they thought of the drill. We also reached out to Mariana Seafelt, who's the daughter of Becky Seafelt, who was part of the shooting in Pittsburgh in 2012.
I think people should know that these things can happen, but I don't want people to be so scared, I guess. You know what I mean? I know, like, even that drill, it's been 6 years and it's still, I just stayed in my bedroom because it's very horrifying to me.
A student who participated in the drill, Hamad Khan, told us, "I do feel safer after this drill because it allowed the university to test their procedures in a real-life setting and ensure the proper response time. The drill also allowed local law enforcement and emergency services to familiarize themselves with our campus. I feel comfortable knowing that they have practiced in high-stress situations and are able to respond adequately to any incidents." Another student participant, Jasmine Claysing, told us, "I feel more safe knowing that law enforcement and emergency services have practiced in simulated scenarios. Heaven forbid this were to ever happen for real. It's reassuring to know that emergency services are doing everything they can to prepare and respond to this particular emergency." For SBU-TV, I'm Fraser Breon.
And I'm Robert Barbieri.
So I had my hand.
So far in 2018, there have been 90 total mass shootings in the United States. In situations like this, the best thing we can do is be prepared and stay informed.
Have you been feeling a little blue with the snow and cold weather Western New York's been getting? Aaron Lanahan looks into seasonal affective disorder and how it might be affecting you.
Have you ever felt a little down when the weather is gloomy, but then start to feel happier when the sun came out? You, among many other people, might be feeling some of the effects of seasonal affective disorder.
I stopped by the Center for Student Wellness to talk to Chris Anderson, the director here, about what this disorder is.
There's actually a type of a depression that most people experience during the winter months when the daylight is much less and also we don't see the sunshine as much.
Anderson gave some tips for how to better your mood while waiting for the warmer weather.
Sleep, diet, and exercise are very important. Also maintaining contact with friends. Don't isolate. Make sure you're keeping in contact with folks so that you're setting things up to look forward to, such as going out to dinner or doing other things with friends is a very important part of it as well.
Anderson also wants students here at St. Bonaventure to know they are not alone when they're feeling down.
If you do feel that you're having a hard time with seasonal affective, please don't hesitate to contact us here at the Center for Student Wellness.
So if you've been feeling down this winter, grab a friend, get out of your dorm room, and try to soak up the sun when it eventually decides to come back. For SBU-TV, I'm Aaron Lanahan.
With any luck, we'll see some sun this weekend. CNN acquired former FBI Director James Comey's memos about his conversations with President Trump. The memos include Comey detailing Trump's experience with his former National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn. Comey recounts his January 28th conversations with the president, saying, quote, "He then returned to the topic of Mike Flynn, saying that Flynn is a good guy and has been through a lot. He misled the vice president, but he didn't do anything wrong in the call. He said, I hope you can see your way clear to letting this go, to letting Flynn go. He's a good guy. I hope you can let this go." Comey continues, quote, "I replied saying, I agree he's a good guy, but said no more." Flynn left his position as National Security Advisor and later pleaded guilty for lying to the FBI about his conversations with Russian officials. The Comey memos were given to Congress on Thursday. The memos document seven conversations Flynn had with Trump from January through April of last year. Trump tweeted yesterday, James Comey memos just out and show clearly that there was no collusion and no obstruction. Also, he leaked classified information. Wow, will the witch hunt continue?
It's 420, otherwise known as an unofficial holiday for college students. Our Mariah Marrero and Matt Williams explain the risks of smoking synthetic marijuana.
I guess that one of the most dangerous things about synthetic marijuana compared to just traditional marijuana is that they look so similar.
Me personally, I couldn't spot the difference.
April 20th, or more commonly known as National Weed Smokers Day, is a popular holiday celebrated on college campuses around the world. Whether or not students plan to celebrate this holiday, they should be aware of what they are using. Synthetic marijuana, also known as K2 or spice, is a harmful substance that individuals smoke to mimic the effects of marijuana. We spoke to Dr. Becky Sedfeld, Medical Service Manager of the Wellness Center, on the negative effects of smoking synthetic marijuana.
Know about the risk of the K2 or the synthetic marijuana and having the possibility of having it laced with this somewhat of a rat poisoning, or that they call it, and causing some unexplained bleeding and potentially death.
Although the use of marijuana is illegal, college students are going to celebrate regardless. If you are going to celebrate this 420, make sure you know what you're putting in your body and stay safe. With SBU-TV, I'm Mariah Marrero.
As Dr. Seefeld explained, if you can't distinguish between the two, then choose the safe alternative this 420 and just stay away from it.
As we speak, SBU-TV's Maya Capolino is in New York City. She's part of American Advertising Federation, a club here on campus. This semester, members created an advertising campaign and will pitch their plan to judges this weekend.
Advertising Federation is in the Big Apple this weekend for the National Student Advertising Competition. The group of 29 students have been creating an integrated advertising campaign for Ocean Spray. The students will pitch today at 1:30 against 7 other schools. Advisor Mike Jones-Kelly has been leading this group for the past 9 years. He reflects on his experiences.
There's a difference between being assigned something and being assigned something you love. And I love this stuff. I love working with the student ad agency. I love working with the kids. I love watching them do what I love doing. I love watching them work together. And then I love watching them realize suddenly, oh my God, we're good at this. That's pretty nice.
Senior English and Journalism major Diana McElfresh has been in AF for 2 years now and is on the pitch team.
AF is a totally different experience in that it's not really a class. It operates more as like an actual advertising agency, and it's kind of awesome to be involved with it because you feel like you're actually accomplishing something, and that will go beyond like just getting an A in a class.
The students will attend a dean's dinner and visit several advertising agencies while in the city. Reporting for SBU-TV, I'm Maya Capolino.
The group will return Sunday evening and will update you on the competition's results.
The investigation into what happened to the left engine on a Southwest airline plane on Tuesday is still underway. We hear from one Texas firefighter who recounts the harrowing incident.
A Southwest airline plane ascending past more than 32,500 feet made emergency landing Tuesday after the engine on the left wing broke. CNN correspondent Omar Jimenez has more.
I felt the calling to get up and do something, stand up and act.
Andrew Needham is a firefighter who was on Southwest Flight 1380 and helped pull one of his fellow passengers back inside the plane when their left engine broke midair, an object burst through a window and sucked Jennifer Reardon toward the hole where the window used to be. She later died.
I feel for her family. I feel for her 2 kids, her husband, the community that she lived in.
And as the healing process continues, so too does the investigation into what exactly happened. The National Transportation Safety Board says a preliminary look at the engine shows one of its 24 fan blades was missing, that there was evidence of metal fatigue where the blade attached to the engine hub, and a separate fracture further down that same blade.
It appears that the fatigue fracture was the initiating event, which later caused that secondary failure.
The Federal Aviation Administration says they will be issuing a directive that will include the specific engine model affected in this flight, requiring a, quote, ultrasonic inspection of fan blades when they reach a certain number of takeoffs and landings. Any blades that fail the inspection will have to be replaced. NTSB investigators are still tracking down evidence from the plane and will examine the engine and blade components at the materials lab in Washington, D.C. In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez.
43-year-old Jennifer Reardon's death was the first in-flight death in Southwest Company history. The Albuquerque, New Mexico native died at a Philadelphia hospital. Our thoughts and prayers are with Jennifer's loved ones.
Makeups and costumes and hair. Oh my! The SBU hip-hop team is gearing up for its annual spring show. The show is titled Journey to Oz and tells the story of Dorothy, played by junior Sarah Koenig, as she makes her way through Oz and back to Bonaventure. The cast has been practicing since the beginning of the semester to prepare for this show. This will be its last show as the hip-hop team. The plan is to change the name to Dance Team by next semester in an effort to be more inclusive. The show takes place this Tuesday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. If you want to buy tickets for Journey to Oz, you can stop by the Regina A. Quick Center for the Arts box office. Tickets are available now through Wednesday. Students' tickets cost $3, and general admission tickets are just $5.
Are you going to go?
You know, it depends. If I'm free Tuesday, I absolutely think so. What about yourself?
I think so. Are you? Why aren't you dancing?
I was before the show. I promise you that.
Ethan's got the moves. All right, we're going to wrap it up here today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Katie Tersick.
And I'm Ethan Kibbe. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure to tune in again next week.